A lot of people in Uzbekistan would say they're Muslims. Some of them are very devout. They pray 5 times a day. Some of them have never read the Quran, don't pray. Which were you? Were you devout or were you kind of in name only?
Yes, you are right. I grew up in Karakal, Pakistan, where it's one of Muslim country. I grew up in Muslim family, so I heard from my parents about God. From childhood, I was believer to Creator Allah. So when I was 12 years old, I heard that I am adopted son, not biological. This my parents who I have now. That time it was not my biological parents. So I was so sad this day. I lose my hope in the future. I couldn't live anymore. In my heart began evil. So I promise it from this day I will find my biological parents and I will punish them or I will kill them because they destroyed my life. Yeah. After that, I had nothing in interest to this life.
You're kind of hopeless.
Yes, hopeless. Yeah. Yeah, I was strong among my friends, but anyway, my heart was not strong. So then I looked for peace in my heart several years. Every night I never forget these days. I cried. Even I prayed every night before my sleep. I said to God, God, I don't want to live anymore. Please. Let this night will be my last night. Tomorrow morning.
Let me die.
Let me die in this night. Take just my soul. I don't want to see next day because every day for me is dark.
Why in that culture, why was it such a big deal that you were adopted, that these weren't your biological parents, they had adopted you?
Yeah, in our culture, it's not acceptable as here in United States. For example, in Sweden, we can see white family, I mean European face, but children from Asia or from Africa, it's normal for them,
Right.
Even here also,
Yeah.
But in our culture, it's huge a shame. So for especially for child who is growing up.
So as if your biological parents had rejected you. So you were you carried that shame.
Yes, when I was born, they left me.
So you're a young teenager and you're praying every night, God, let me die tonight. I don't want to live anymore. I don't want to see tomorrow. What happened after that?
Soviet Union's time is finished, so a lot of Muslim missionary also began come to Central Asia. And my neighbors also was this imam. He was around 30 years. When I was 16 years old, I began visit him because I am looking for peace in my life. So I began visit him every day, can we say 3-4 days of 1 week. So he also was so happy because he could see how I am looking for God,
Mm-hmm.
So he could try spend time with me more, and he could teach me about Islam. He taught me about Islam. But I couldn't find peace in my heart. Just I know information, but
Right.
not peace in my heart. He wasn't example for me. He spoke sometimes bad word. He beat his son, wife. But I also, myself, I was so excited to learn history. I like history in my school also. So I know history, how Islam come to Central Asian. It's very by war, can we say.
Yeah,
that
by the sword.
7th century. It was several 1,300 years ago, how Islam come to Central Asia. So I know this history. I had also question if it's Quran of Allah. They come to sword and killed people. How is Islam is doing like that? Why it's that?
Right.
Yeah, it was all time also one of my question. And the secondly question also, how is polygamy? So marry several women.
Right.
It's second question. Third question also, how is Muhammad married 9 years girl? It also
a question.
Yeah, question. How is Prophet when he was over 50 years, he married 9 years girl? I couldn't understand. Even I will ask from Muslim imam, he also can't answer for this question. Just they say in Islam has like this. If this question has no answer, they said, don't ask from Allah. Just believe, You can't ask.
Don't ask questions.
Yeah.
Just
you
do what
can't.
we say.
Yes. If I say why, don't ask. You can't ask from Allah. You are just this person. Your head is not so like is Allah.
Right.
Even Allah will answer for you. You can't understand because you have small brain, so you can't understand.
It's above you.
Yes,
I mean,
yes,
you can't understand that.
Yeah. That years, it was 1996 around. I followed several months. I could good information about Islam. Then I had a dream also in the future to study at university, to get a high education.
Mm-hmm.
My one of part in heart, I don't like leave. Second of part, anyway, I'm trying to do something.
Right.
Secondly, I had from childhood dream, as I told yesterday, my father was one of officer of KGB in Soviet Union time when I was born, that time, before I was born. So when my father told me about what is KGB they doing, I grow up, patriotic, communistic ideology is influence. I had a dream to be one of officer of one KGB. So then Soviet Union collapsed, but then anyway, I had a dream to be military. So when I was 17 years and 18 years, I went to military academy in our country, in Uzbekistan. But in all Soviet Union's country has laws, very strange law. If your family, if your relatives had committed some is criminal in this background, even not you, but your relatives, but you can't work as a military, as police, or as a prosecutor.
If any family member has committed a crime, you can't be in the military or the police.
Yeah.
Wow.
I have 5 brothers, so 2 of them was, after Soviet Union's collapse, it's in our country was chaos. So surviving. My two brother also was committed some criminal. They was several months in jail. Their life is influence for my future also, my dream. So I cried, God, why they did? Every what I want, it's closed from childhood. Like is God create me to accidentally or so. I'm not in the plan of God,
Right.
So he doesn't pay attention in my life, Then I went to university, simple university. First year I went to language university. Second year I went to try to lawyer in Uzbekistan. But I read a lot of more than 2 years. My friends also was so sure I come in. One thing, I was poor. My family was poor. We had not money. Even we couldn't eat so good food also. So I was so sure myself also. But when I went there, I couldn't do because who has his money? Bribe. They give bribe. And rich people. I know several rich, my friends. They don't know nothing. They didn't study in school also, but they go to good university. It was very not righteous.
Right.
Where is God? I'm trying. That time, second year when I couldn't come in. I could, but I could to contract. It contract meaning I should to pay. In my country, not in Europe or America, you can loan money from bank and you can study. We have nothing. So you should to find, or your parents, how can I find this? But that time I told to God, God, you doesn't exist in this world. Just these lying peoples. Who is poor, you are not there, God. If you exist, you're not poor people, God. You like rich peoples. Who is a rich narcoman or drinking alcohol, doing bad things, for example, teenagers. Their life all time is lucky because father has money. But what we did in our life, This day I cried so and shouted loudly to God, "You not existed. You are lying us." But of course, I know He is existed. He hearing me. I know about that. Then next day I asked from God, "Oh God, I'm so sorry. I was so anyway. I trust in you. Even I rejected from you yesterday." Also, I regularly went to training. I had one my friend who was older than me 4 years, and his life is changed. He said, "Maxit, you are trusting God." "Yes, of course." "Are you praying?" I said, "Yes, of course. I pray, but not 5 times, but I'm trying to pray." "Okay, Maxit, when you pray, you're praying Arabic?" Of course, in the beginning I am praying Arabic, then I will ask from my language, some thinking about that. But he said, "Maxit, why you should to pray Arabic? God doesn't understand Kazakh language or Karakalpak." It was a logical question.
Yes.
How a God creator all of this world, people, nations and language, how he can't understand why we should to pray Arabic?
Right.
It was
if God created me, why can't He understand my language?
Yes.
Why do I have to learn Arabic
Yeah.
to be able to talk to
Yeah.
Him?
He thought you can pray in your mother language. Second, he said, in this world has God created all this world from nothing. This world, He alive only one God. He loves you. I heard first time about God's love. I thought inside. I am thinking, how is holy God can love me if my biological parents left me? They didn't love me.
And you had never heard that in Islam?
No, Islam never says about God's love.
Okay.
Yeah, Islam says about merciful of God, power of God, punishment of God, like that.
But they don't talk about God loves
Quran,
you.
In Quran.
So that was for you. That was a completely new
completely
idea.
No, and it's love. It's powerful. Yes, he said. I come home. I thought, what interesting. How is God? A second question: if God loved me, why He closed all my future? I wanted to study university. I wanted to do like this. I wanted to do. All my dream is not complete. I looked for this man again. He was neighbor of us, but I didn't know he became Christian. Just only we talked about God. But when I talked 3 months ago with him, more than 1 hour, it was much more powerful in my life.
Right.
I met with him. It was 2000, 22nd April. This day was Lenin's birthday.
Yes, Lenin's birthday.
Yeah. He said, "Come in his home. We could sit and we drink tea." And I told him, after our last conversation 3 months ago, you told me a lot of things. I want to know about that. So he told, "Yes, good," but he explained me what happened in his life, how changed his life. Then he explained me who is Jesus Christ. Usually we grow up in Soviet Union time, we accepted Jesus Christ, Иисус Христос in Russian. It's Russian's God or Russian's prophet. We have a Muhammad.
Right.
They have a Jesus.
They have Jesus.
Yes.
The Russians have Jesus.
Yeah, but
and the Russians are the invaders, kind of. I mean, they were taking over your country, controlling it. So that's not a positive thing to be the God of the Russians.
Yeah. Also, we call them as kafir. Kafir, it means it's not believers. They don't believe right God, Then he explained me Jesus was not Russian. He was Hebrew. So, okay, wow. Mm-hmm. But in Quran says Jesus Christ, but we say Isa Masih, Isa Masih, Al-Masih. So we know at the end he come to judge this world. Quran says about that. But anyway, in question also, why he come, not Muhammad? If we are trusting Muhammad, why come Jesus judge us, for example? Also, logical question.
Another good question.
Yeah. Then he explained me, and at the end, he told me really who was Jesus. He died on cross 2,000 years ago. So he gave me suggestion. Would you like accept Jesus Christ as your Savior and as your Lord? I thought a little bit. 1 minute pause was in my heart, in my mind is how is
Wrestling.
wrestling. Yeah,
Yeah.
wrestling. I said yes, I'm ready. He said, you can pray now. I can pray in Hebrew. I thought Jesus is Hebrew. I should to pray Hebrew. He said, you can pray in your mother language. I said, really? Yeah. He understands every language. So, okay, but anyway, I can't pray how I should do, what I should to do. Okay, I will help you. He repeat after me. So I repeat after him, praying of repent. This day, I acknowledge all of my sins, all of who I was. So I feel something is changing in my life directly, really. So before I spoke every of my 2 or 3 words, one of bad word was. I couldn't stop it. I never stopped it. From how I know my childhood, from this period, I'm speaking bad words. In the outside, in school, and where friends. Even when I was 20 years, even before my parents sitting in the table. Anyway, I spoke bad words. But in our culture, it's not acceptable. It's not good before your parents if you will using bad words. But this day, I stopped it. From how I accepted Christ till today, I never used bad words. It was my first sign in my life how is really God is touching my. And secondly, I get peace in my heart. 8 years, from 12 years until 20 years, how I heard I
No
adopted.
peace.
No peace. No one night without prayer, so I didn't want to live anymore. I asked it from God, take my life. But this day I sleep well. This day I was so happy. I can't forget these days, never.
Amen.
In my life. Then also changed my life. I could forgiveness. Before 8 years, if I will watch some film about adopting or some with the left son, I couldn't see my heart. It's my wound,
Yeah.
Even to people say speaking about adopted son like that, somebody, I couldn't sit here. It's my
It's too
story.
hard.
Yes,
It
too
hurts
hard.
too much.
Yeah. Even I've never told somebody about that. But this day, when I accept, freely share testimony with people about begin from my life when I lived darkly 8 years. When all my friends heard about I'm adopted son, they were shocked also. Wow, why? But how I had also power to speak about loud, no hide about my heart. I could show them my heart, how I changed it.
From the first day. I mean,
From the first day, from the first day.
Wow.
Yeah, so that time I had my girlfriend, now my wife. She studied university that time. So first day when I come back home, my friend gave me Gospel of Luke in Kazakh language, just only one, like this brochure. I read all day. Yeah, it was very wonderful. But this day, what interesting, when I read, mountains preach of Jesus Christ. He says, love your enemies. But I had just one enemy, my biological parents.
Yes.
I said, God, I promised from my childhood I should to punish them. After that, I will obey all of your rules. But I can't do it this one, But, it's childhood, it's a stereotype, so it's
right.
My heart. But read. But all of them will agree with you, but I can't do it this one.
I can't forgive my parents who deserted me.
Yeah, they should to get some punishment.
Right.
Yeah, but when I met my mother, biological mother, after several weeks, how we became Christian, first time, when I met with her, she, from her eyes, I could see she's not peace in heart. And I became also, I understood, I forgive her. Then it was interesting. That time she also was married. She had 6 children. husband didn't know about me. She maximal was hide me from her husband.
Right.
Because
Because
their
it was a
family
shame
will,
for her.
yeah, family can divorce or finish. I understood also that I didn't want to close to them. It's so difficult was in I could see problem in her heart.
Right.
Almost 20 years. She maybe thought everything 20 years ago. Then when they left me, they thought I will finish everything. But no, it's problem after 20 years coming coming himself.
Right.
Yeah. But I said, I forgive you. Just only tell me who is my father, who is my nationality. I am Kazakh or who I. She didn't tell nothing. But my mother, my biological adopted parents, they explained me when they adopted me, I was around 3 months, around 8, 10, 12 weeks. So they could see I was very European. They thought I am Russian. So Russian boy, somebody, maybe my mother, one of the students, when was student somewhere, maybe she meet one Russian or teacher or somebody, I became, she was born me, so they thought about that.